This is a Channel Africa podcast. You can also get Channel Africa on satellite, PAS10, DSTV Audio Bouquet 802, and OpenView Bouquet, Channel 628.
The United Nations Development Programme, which is linked as analysed and supported by the African Business Research, suggests that Africa may be losing nearly $75 billion every year due to higher borrowing costs driven by perceived risk, often referred to as the Africa risk premium. Of the continent's 53 countries, 33 are rated below investment grade, while only 2 hold investment grade status. So what does this mean for the future of Africa's credit profile? Channel Africa's economics reporter Innocent Simosa has the details.
Delegates attending the launch of the African Credit Rating Association, ACRA, are calling for a fairer and more accurate assessment of Africa's financial landscape. Ephraim Chawoneka, Chief Executive Officer of the International Credit Rating Agency, Zimbabwe, says current rating frameworks often fail to reflect the continent's true economic realities.
I think first and foremost, it is a fact that 33 countries out of the 54 are rated, and a very small percentage are in the investment grade. And that investment grade, we're talking about triple B. And you know there's an A, there's a double A, and a triple A on top of that. So essentially, what has been happening is that I think from when you read literature around the credit ratings, particularly in Africa, you find that there is always an agreement that information is scarce. There is asymmetry of information.
Chawoneka says the launch of ACRA is timely and will help ensure credit rating agencies have access to credible, Africa-focused information.
Now, but when you talk to somebody who's sitting in a jurisdiction like myself, I will tell you that information is available. It may be in silos, in bits and pieces around. So when you have an association like ACRA, it is now amalgamating all that information for purposes of it being used, so that when the rating is done, all the information, all the contours of information, the nuances are picked.
But how can ACRA balance global standards with Africa's unique economic and development challenges? Nerina Visser, who represents the CFA Institute, shares her perspective.
I love that question. I want to go back to what I refer to almost as my Damascus moment around this topic almost 30 years ago, when I saw for the first time the rail map in Africa. And I noticed that all of the railroads in Africa, as it was 30 years ago, went from the mines to the ports. In other words, everything was about getting stuff out of this continent. And there was hardly any infrastructure that connected the continent inside, so these different rail systems. When they then started wanting to connect the rail system inside the continent, it was found that depending on who the original colonial master was, the gauges of these rail tracks could not be connected because the French and the British and the Portuguese, these tracks did not talk to one another. So you needed special connectors to even connect the existing rail infrastructure inside the continent. We've got exactly the same situation in terms of financial market infrastructure. All of our financial market is focused on capital flows out of the continent, trying to attract capital flows to come into the continent.
Dr. Nick Eberl, representing the Future of Job Summit, says independent credit rating are critical to building credibility, boosting investor confidence, and shaping Africa's financial future.
Absolutely, and the timing could not be better, because the space where the world is right now favors Africa. It favors South Africa, and as the world is resetting, I think ACRA has a great opportunity to now bring all the credit rating agencies together and speak with one voice.
For Channel Africa News, I'm Innocent Simosa in Johannesburg, South Africa.
That podcast was courtesy of Channel Africa, the African perspective.